go. Good afternoon and welcome to Global News and Memories 96.5 FM Uyo. The top stories. President Bola Tinubu says Nigeria's economy on recovery path. Federal government to restock food reserve system. House of Representatives begin to probe on oil theft. On the firing scene, Arsenals attacked French railways hours before Olympic ceremony. And in the world of sport, Paris set for its first Olympics in 100 years. We have got details of these and other stories in just a moment. My name is MFONISO Harrison. And now the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu has assured that the nation's economy is on a gradual but steady path of recovery and assures citizens that his administration will do more to meet their needs. He gave the assertion yesterday during a meeting with traditional rulers led by the Sultan of Sokoto, His Eminence Mohammed Saad Abubakar III, and the Oni of Ife, His Majesty Oba Adeyeye Eniton, at the presidential villa in Abuja. President Tinubu stated that the interventions to bring the government nearer to the people are already yielding results with the activation of the student loan program, the consumer credit scheme, and the formation of fiscal autonomy for local government councils. He said the Ministry of Finance will continue to ensure the funds go to the grassroots for human and infrastructural development, adding that security is getting more attention and will be enhanced. In another development, the president has alleged phase of manipulation by any interest group in the ongoing economic reforms, saying his campaign was self-sponsored without strings or indebtedness to any individual or institution. According to a statement issued by his special advisor on media and publicity, the president made the remark when he received a delegation of Islamic leaders led by Sheikh Bala Laou at the presidential villa, Abuja, yesterday. President Tinubu said his victory at the polls was purely by divine intervention, careful planning and diligence in getting support from Nigerians. On the planned August 1st nationwide protest, the president said protests fueled by anger and hate could degenerate into violence and set the country backward. Away from that to other stories, the federal government has announced plans to restock the National Strategic Food Reserve System to address food insecurity and stabilize food prices in the country. The Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Aliyu Abdullahi, made this known at the unveiling of the 2024 Global Food Policy Report organized by the International Food Policy Research Institute and Global Alliance for Improved Nutrition. Speaking at the event in Abuja yesterday, Abdullahi stated that the government is working hard to ramp up food production, particularly for major staples like rice, maize, and cassava, to calm down the current food situation. The minister acknowledged that the reserve system was affected by the flood in 2021, but assured that the government is now working to restock it, starting from this year's harvest, and also distributing fertilizer and agrochemicals to farmers to boost production. Away from that, the House of Representatives Special Committee on Oil Theft and Losses has begun investigation into illegal lifting of crude oil in Nigeria in order to address root causes of the challenges facing the sector. The special committee, chaired by the member representing Doguwa Tudunwada Federal Constituency in Kano State, Alhazana Dodoguwa, was declared open by the Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, the Chief of Defence Staff, Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Air Staff, and the Inspector General of Police, who were all represented by top-rank officers. Speaking at the event, Speaker Abbas, represented by the Deputy Speaker, Benjamin Kalu, lamented the negative impact oil theft is having on the nation's economy, even as he decried the daily losses of crude oil due to the activities of criminals. And away from that, Stakeholders in the health sector have raised the alarm over the rise in cases of cervical cancer in the country, following the World Health Organization's records showing no fewer than 7,968 deaths from the disease yearly. They noted that cervical cancer is the second most common cancer in Nigerian women, accounting for approximately 16% of all female cancers. The experts spoke at a vaccine awareness and uptake program organized by the Pathfinder in partnership with the Medical Women Association of Nigeria, the Nigerian Cancer Society, and Lagos State Primary Healthcare Development Board in Lagos. Dr. Adeniji Adebayo of the Lagos State Primary Healthcare Board said Nigeria has one of the highest rates of cervical cancer incidents in the world. And you're listening to Global News and Memories 96.5 FM. We bring you more reports after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying tuned to Global News and Memories 96.5 FM. And now to the rest of the news. On the foreign scene, Burundi has reported 3 cases of mpox in its commercial capital and a nearby town. The Health Minister Lidwin Baradahana said in a statement yesterday that the cases of the viral infection, 2 in Bujumbura and on Ishare, about 30 kilometers from Bujumbura, were confirmed after a local laboratory and the World Health Organization conducted tests, adding that they are being treated in health facilities and are getting better. Baradahana did not say which variant of the monkeypox virus the ministry had confirmed, but she reassured that the Burundian population that all measures have been taken to deal with the disease. And from France, a series of fires have hit France's high-speed rail lines hours before the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympic Games. Rail company says it's a massive attack aimed at paralyzing the network, with France's transport minister saying they're dealing with coordinated malicious act. The rail firm says some 800,000 customers are affected, with the travelers urged to postpone their journeys as repairs are underway, with traffic to be severely disrupted until at least the end of the weekend. The coordinated strikes on the railway network will feed into a sense of apprehension ahead of the Olympics opening ceremony in the heart of Paris later today. And in the world of sports, the 2024 Paris Olympics officially begins today with the opening ceremony in the French capital. With this year's competition motivating games wide open, it is the first time in 100 years the French capital will host the Summer Games, with the majority of the event taking place in or around the city's most iconic areas. Today's opening ceremony will feature boats carrying athletes and dignitaries down 6 kilometers of the river Seine, with room for 300,000 spectators. The Paris Game is the first to achieve gender parity among athletes, with 5,250 male and 5,250 female athletes set to compete. With millions expected to attend, Paris is making the final touches for a Games it hopes will be like no other. And that's Global News and Memories 96.5 FM. But before we go, let's take a recap of the top stories. You had the President Bola Tinubu says the nation's economy is on a gradual but steady path of recovery and assures citizens that his administration will do more to meet their needs. He also had that the federal government has announced plans to restock the National Strategic Food Reserve System to address food insecurity and stabilize food prices in the country. He also had that the House of Representatives Special Committee on Oil Theft and Losses yesterday began investigation into illegal lifting of crude oil in Nigeria in order to address root causes of the challenges facing the sector. On the foreign scene, you heard that a series of fires have hit French high-speed rail lines hours before the opening ceremony of the Paris 2024 Olympic Games. While in sports, the 2024 Paris Olympics officially begins today with the opening ceremony in the French capital. And that's the news this afternoon, edited by Nyagno Albert and assisted by the production team. For views regarding our news, a coverage of a newsworthy event, or well to reach us on email at newsroom@memoriesmediang.com or call a newsroom hotline on 0909 0000581. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Memories965FM. And now let's take you down memory lane. On this day in 2013, the Senate passed a resolution empowering it and House of Representatives to take over the legislative functions of the Rivers State House of Assembly. And that's the news. Thank you for listening. My name is MFONISO and do have yourself a wonderful afternoon.